There are so many different ways that families enter the experience of homelessness that are directed by the rules and the policies that we've set up. And so our job, my job really, is to help us identify where those places are in our systems that we can disrupt to change the way that family homelessness presents, so that there are less families experiencing homelessness, and in particular less families of color that are experiencing homelessness.
I ended up here at People Serving People because I became a widow. So my family dynamic changed, and I had to go with that change. So I ended up here because financially I was unable to care for myself and my daughter. From employment to computer to the advocates helping with your mental, physical, spiritual needs, all of that is right here at People Serving People. And it's an honor and a privilege to be able to be a part of this.
From my perspective, and in conversations with some of our parents and our guest advisory council members, at a gut level, those folks know where the systems are failing them. And they know what is wrong in community, and they have ideas on how to shift things. We see that most clearly in our guest advisory council, where that space is intentionally set up to empower our guests and community to voice the things that are not working specifically in our space, but sometimes that also leads to conversations around, well, what's not working at the county level, or what are the questions and frustrations that we have that then allow us to kind of engage county folks to answer and clarify some of those things, and in some cases advocate for some changes.
The Guest Advisory Committee allowed me to use this as a platform in order to help others as well as help myself.
Trauma and toxic stress change the way your brain works, and it can happen as early on as birth, 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old. There are brain scans of a child who's been through trauma and a child who hasn't, and the brain scans are completely different. And so when you take that into factor and you add 20 years to that 3-year-old, they're going to behave differently and have different coping skills and mechanisms that they use than a person who hasn't been through trauma. And so to disregard all of that is saying those experiences don't matter. That doesn't matter that that happened to you. We should expect you to do just what everyone else does. And it doesn't take into account where they've been or the things that they've seen that I think we should address. I had the opportunity to testify on Representative Moran's bill on creating a trauma-informed care task force for the state to move the state towards being more trauma-informed within their various systems. And our hope there, our interest in testifying for it was, we know how impactful trauma-informed care has been for us, and we want to see it out in the rest of the state, out in the other systems that are there, from healthcare to the criminal justice system, things like that, education in public schools, because we know how successful it has been here. And when we want families to leave us and be greeted somewhere else the same way we have always treated them and greeted them here.
I want the funders to know that we're real, and they may not understand the impact that they have on the change in our lives to better it. You come from these different dynamics and backgrounds, and you're able to come to certain groups or facilities like this and be heard. I mean, that's large, that's huge. And that can impact you getting back on your road to recovery, to getting back to where you come from.